welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today, well, it's a big one. We're looking into the idea of tearing up the entire UK tax system and basically starting from scratch. We're hunting for simplicity, for efficiency.
And it's fascinating why we're even having this chat. The UK tax code, it's notorious. Over 20,000 pages. That actually makes it the longest in the world. And, experts keep warning that all this constant tinkering around the edges just adds complexity, creates new problems.
Right, new distortions. So, okay, if we had that blank sheet of paper aiming for clarity, what would be the, say, 3 biggest technical distortions we'd need to fix straight away?
Well, you'd have to start with income tax and national insurance. I mean, functionally, they're 2 different taxes hitting the exact same thing, your earnings, but they're applied differently, calculated differently, just merging them. That's like the foundational step for making things simpler.
Okay, simpler forms, less paperwork.
Yeah.
But does merging them fix any specific weird outcomes, things that actually change how people behave?
Oh, absolutely. That merger could potentially get rid of what analysts call the notorious cliff edge. We're talking about people earning between £100,000 and £125,000. They can face an effective marginal tax rate of 60%.
60%. How?
It's because their personal allowance gets clawed back in that band. And, well, a 60% rate, that actively puts people off accepting pay rises or going for a promotion.
Wow. 60%. You can really see how that would, push against productivity. Okay, let's pivot. Second big distortion. Property taxes.
Yes, sir.
It seems like everyone agrees stamp duty?
Yeah.
It just doesn't belong in a modern system, right? It
Yeah.
gums up the market, discourages moving.
Stamp duty definitely needs to go. But we also have to talk about council tax. I mean, it's still based on property values from 1991.
30 years out of date.
1991. That's absurd. It's like taxing my salary today based on what I earned in the early 90s.
Makes no sense.
So if we scrap both stamp duty and council tax, what's the sort of technically sound replacement? The major alternative people talk about is a broad land value tax, an LVT. So this is a levy on the site itself, the unimproved value of the location, basically not the house or building you put on it. And the big advantage, land can't be hidden offshore, Taxing it doesn't reduce its supply.
Okay, that makes technical sense.
Yeah.
But politically, what about folks who are, say, asset rich, but cash poor? Pensioners and valuable houses. That feels like a immediate hurdle.
Definitely. That protection has to be baked into any sensible LVT proposal. That's a key challenge.
Right. Okay, speaking of future challenges,
Mm-hmm.
if property taxes need an overhaul, what about transport? That's facing a massive shift.
Yeah, there's a huge financial hole opening up right now, fuel duty. It currently raises something like $25 billion a year. But, the 2030 ban on new petrol and diesel cars is getting closer and closer.
So that 25 billion pound, it's just vanishing.
Pretty much, yeah. Over time, it dwindles away.
Which leads to the seemingly inevitable replacement mentioned in the sources. Road pricing. Charging drivers per mile, maybe factoring in congestion. Is that seen as the only real way to plug that gap fairly?
It seems to be the critical mechanism, yes. To fill that financial hole and, importantly, keep transport taxes fair as we all shift towards electric vehicles.
Okay, so let's connect these dots. We've got merged income tax, land value tax, road pricing. Technically, they sound coherent.
They do, but then you hit the wall. The politics. Why hasn't any government really pushed these through? It's the disruption.
Right. Any big reform creates some losers, at least in the short term, even if most people benefit eventually. And are we saying this system's now kind of hostage to social media noise?
Essentially, yeah. That seems to be the analysis. Social media gives small groups who feel they'll lose out a really powerful voice. They can organize fast, amplify their concerns, and basically pull down a policy before the wider, maybe slower benefits are ever really felt or understood by the majority.
The silent majority doesn't shout as loud.
Exactly.
And that's why the experts are suggesting things like independent oversight, taking it out of the yearly budget cycle, a proper long-term roadmap.
Precisely. Break that cycle of short-term, politically driven tinkering. Aim for stability.
So, okay, the core vision we've sketched out from the sources today. A simpler, unified income tax, a shift to land value tax for property, and bringing in road pricing for transport, all ideally guided by a less political long-term strategy.
Yeah, we don't need more sticking plasters. The sources are really clear on this. The quote that stuck with me was, "We need focus, courage, and a system built for the future."
Focus and courage. Okay, so here's a final thought then for you listening. Tax shapes so much, doesn't it? Where you live, how you save, your job, given that. Will political courage ever actually manage to outweigh that immediate, very real fear of short-term disruption? Even if it's to fix a system most agree is, well, fundamentally broken, something to mull over. Until our next deep dive.